Project Management Mastery Journey, the key decision that will change everything. My name is Guilherme and I'm a project management expert. I help professionals to become successful project managers. How do I do that? I provide training, coaching, one-on-one coaching, even consulting sometimes to make sure that people can progress in their career in the project management mastery journey that you can see here until they can start, until they can be a top achiever there. The goal for today is not to discuss the project management master journey in details, because of course we are going to do that in more details in the project management summit together with important skills. But I want to tackle a very important point here. Oh, and of course, before I forget, don't forget to like and share this video so it can reach more people. More people can learn how they can develop their project management skills, but also and if you're interested in go deeper into project management to develop your skills and even to get a free certificate there, subscribe in the Project Management Summit. It's a free event, 3 classes where I'm going to teach you how the skills that you need to progress in the journey that you have here. It's free. Only thing you need to do is subscribe. Well, there's one critical there are some critical values that, going back to the content, there are some critical values that you need to perform in this project management mastery journey. One of them is likely one of the critical one to make sure that you can make any type of the move in this journey here. Simply because without it, you're not going to be able to do much. What is the decision? The decision is start viewing this journey as your responsibility and taking the ownership of that. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. So, as part of the Project Management Summit preparation, I'm sharing a lot of content. Those videos, I'm sharing stuff via email. And recently, someone reached out to me to get some tips on CV. And fair enough, I decided to say, let me take a look. But when I look to the CV that I got there, the CV did not consider all the critical. So I shared an email with critical items that people need to take a look in their CV. So there was a list of there, I don't know, five critical things to take a look in the CV. And there's also I shared a video with a 40 minutes class uh, telling people how to review their CV. Although I shared the email and I shared the video, I got a reply in my email here with someone asking, can you take a look in my CV to see how it looks like? The person did not take in consideration any of the things that I sent in the email or any of the things that I shared in the class. And what's the problem with that and how am I connecting that with today class? Well, basically, this person in general might be waiting for someone, in this case, it's me, to solve his problem. What's the problem with that? It's your career, it's your life. You should own those actions there. So let's do the example of the CV that we are discussing there. If you want to improve your CV, you need to put the work. How do we do that? Well, read the email, understand what's there, and try to improve your CV based on the tips I'm sharing. Watch the class and try to improve the CV based in the class. And then, of course, you can even share with me for feedback. That's fair. That's part of it. And I do understand that sometimes you're not going to understand everything at once, but you need to be able to try to take this step yourself. What's the problem and why I'm saying this is a decision that you need to make that will change your entire life and career if you do that? Because if you have this kind of mindset for even for your CV, you're going to have exactly the same thing for your project. You're always going to be looking for someone to solve your issue. You're not going to take the responsibility. You're not going to put the work. It's very easy to ask someone to solve your problem. In real life, how does it work? Well, if it's your problem, you need to take care of it. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to be here to try to make sure that you are feeling comfortable, that you can achieve success in your project. Nobody is going to give you a promotion. Those things, they do not exist. Of course, you're going to get a promotion. Yes, if you take the ownership, if you put the work, if you bring the results, then you get a possibility to get a promotion. But if you complain that, oh, I want to find a job. Yes. Are you working to your CV? No. This is the first step. How you're going to find a job without a good CV? How you're going to find a job without preparing for an interview? How you're going to manage your project without studying what is into your project scope? Without studying what's your project goal? Without understanding what's your project planning? Without studying your project budget? That goes to your entire journey. Let's assume, and that I've seen that you are an accidental project manager. There are several different ways you can start with project manager, and sometimes because of conditions in the company, some people just get here. They are assigned a project and they start to practice it even without a formal training and so on. What happened and what I've seen that happen, people act as if they don't have the ownership of their project. So if they have a problem, they're waiting for management to decide. They're waiting for management to take a decision. And sometimes you are going to have to wait because some types of decisions, they need management for that. But here my question for you, if you're waiting for management decision, have you informed management that this is a time sensitive decision? Have you informed potential impact that if the decision is not taken? Have you follow up with your manager there about the decision there? Have you proposed options? Say, oh, you need to decide. You have option 1, 2, and 3. Have you presented those options with their impacts? And then you ask for a decision? What I see, and let me bring an example. I bring the example of the CV because that's the example of CV that someone is here. But let me put an example of a project here. Recently, I've seen a project manager, or he was managing a big project program there, and then he had to take a decision about a supplier. Basically, the supplier had two solutions left, solution number 1 and solution number 2. And what this guy he did, he sent an email to the one of to two directors, one director and the other was the business group leader. So this the business group leader is even higher than the director in the hierarchy of the company. And he asked, please let me know what think about it. Let me know what we should do. And when I saw that email, because this project there was part of my program, I just replied saying, hey, that's not the way how it works. Or I did not put exactly those words, but what is the point here for the decision? Why you should look this in a different way? First, what's the technical recommendation from the team? You have option 1 and option 2. What's the technical assessment from the team? Number 2, what's the cost of solution 1 versus solution 2? How does it fit the business case there? And number 3, that also for me is bad. He sent a code to management, but he did not even review the code. Because a lot of the items inside of this code, they were not considering what's required for the program. Safe. So what if you want, then here's the ownership part. You are leading the project. What you should do in this case? Let's start here. You make sure that the supplier have a technical offer that aligns with the vision, the technical vision from the team, and aligns with what's required for the project, for the business case. So material being used, timeline being used, technical solution, and so on. This is done. How those options 1 and 2 look into the business case? Which one looks the best one? Oh, if I put the business case with those considerations, with those assumptions here, I would go for option, I don't know, number one. Then you go for the last check. Does the technical team approve option one? Yes. So instead of sending an email saying review the offer and let me know what to do, think about you're sending email to the business group, huh? High level into organization. To give you an idea, there was the business the product group leader, then it go for the business group leader, and then it goes for the CEO. And here I'm talking about a big company with plus 10,000 employees worldwide. So you are very high, we are very high in the hierarchy of the company already to send this kind of stuff. And then I did all this analysis, or at least what I could, because I did not have information about the team, and saying, looking from what you've seen the offer, likely the best option is the option number one. If the team is on board with that, maybe if you want, you just communicate the team. But if you say offer is aligned, business case is aligned, and the team is aligned, you don't need even to communicate. You just follow the project. Why I'm bringing this example here? Because that's exactly the type of mindset of the CV. Say, you have the information there. You're not going to check the information and you're not able to take actions based on the information to do something with that. In this case, in the case of the CV, the guy was waiting for someone solving his problem. In this case, me. He sent me the CV, maybe with the hope that I would take the CV, review everything to him and say, that's what you need to do. And then suddenly he'll get a job, which is, even if I want to do that, is not feasible. I do not know anything about the guy background. I do not know anything about his experience. I do not know what type of jobs he's applying for. And honestly, I'm not going to do that. That's not my work. It's his career. He needs to take the ownership of his career. In the case of the project, the guy did not check the code. The guy did not discuss the code with the team. The guy did not check the business case. He's just sending to someone high in the organization that he's hoping that he's going to solve his problem. And tell, okay, go. Let's say that someone say go to the option two, and then you would go to the option two, even though if the option two the team say we should not do that. Technically, that's a higher risk to do that. This is the kind of work that you need to think about. And what is the very basic principle that underline those two different cases? And that's why I'm showing this in the master journey. This is underlying principle. That's what's going to make you to progress in the journey. Because if you do not have this ownership principle there, you get stuck in here. And in the case that I mentioned for this project manager, that's exactly what I think where this guy is stuck. He cannot get clarity on the things. He cannot get a performance. It's hard to progress. He's just firefighting stuff there. You need to have the ownership of your project. You need to have the ownership of your career. You need to have the ownership of your life. And this is a decision. Stopping to look for excuses. Oh, my CV, I do not know what to do it. Nowadays, we have plenty of resources. Have you tried to Google it? I mentioned in this case that even though I'm not sure if he Googled it, I sent an email with a list of things that he could potentially check in his CV. I sent a link to a class showing different CVs, showing how to customize your CV for a position. But he's not willing to take any of those actions because, of course, it takes time, it takes effort. And sometimes what people do in the case of the CV, they ask ChatGPT to write something to them, which I'm not against it. But if you're asking ChatGPT to get something, you need to understand the quality of the answer that you're going to get. And the only way you can get good quality answer from ChatGPT if it's provide good input for it. So what artificial intelligence will do is the following. If you don't have any inputs, or if the inputs that you provide they are crap, it's crap in and crap out. Artificial intelligence will just polish the crap that you're putting there. If you can provide a very good input, then you can get a very good output. Then you get something that's valuable. But to be able to provide this good input here, you need to take the actions and the ownership, what I'm telling you. So artificial intelligence will not solve your problem. It can help you a lot, and I do use artificial intelligence a lot to be more efficient. So artificial intelligence will help you to be more efficient there. Efficient. But artificial intelligence by itself will not do everything for you without you needing to think about that. And stop and think about what I'm telling you. If artificial intelligence could do everything without any interference, then we don't need people anymore. So that's not necessarily a bad thing to do it. And it's exactly the same thing if you are working with artificial intelligence. It's a tool, let's say if you are working with MS Project. MS Project, MSP. If you put crap in, you get crap out. So the quality of your inputs is very important. How you're going to get quality of the input? You need to put effort. You need to study what needs to be done. Can be, this case can be your CV, can be study for an interview, can be studying your own project or supplier code, studying business case, supply the project plan. Then you get something that's worthwhile. Then you get a decent outcome. Then you can get value. That's what you're looking for. Value. Remember, the goal of any project manager is to deliver value. The only way you can do that is taking the ownership. The ownership for your work, the ownership for your activities. Stop waiting for someone to take care of you. And it goes to absurd level of, for example, I had someone that enrolled in one of my programs, and this person, he got a job, and he asked me, I need your guidance in this job. And I say, fine. As part of the program, usually as part of the programs that I have, we have I have some type of support where we can chat via WhatsApp in case you have a challenge, in case you're struggling with a project. Sometimes I can advise, I can look for a different way. So that's something that is part of the program. So I was totally fine with that. Then I asked the guy, okay, what's the new job that you get there? And you know what was his reply? Oh, I recorded everything, so I have a video of, I don't know, 1 hour or 2 hours, 1 or 2 hours, or it was something like that, that you can watch, and then you can see what is requested there, and then you can tell me what to do. And what was my reply in this case? I'm not going to do that. It's your project, it's your assignment, it's your ownership. So I asked him, oh, can you explain to me? Because I don't have the time to watch a video of 1 or 2 hours to try to understand what you need to do. You need to tell me if you want help solving a problem, you need to be able at least to explain the challenge that you have. But this person here, he was not even willing to put the effort to explain what was the challenge there. And of course, when I asked him, explain to me, okay, what in this case, what type of project that you are working on, what's the goal of the project, what's the scope, the team, and start to have, then he gave up. He said, "Ah, no, then I don't want it." Why did I not do that? Because first, I think it's a disrespect with my time. Say, you need, you're asking for support. You need to come with a scenario where we can discuss. In this case, he was expecting me to watch videos of meetings to understand what's going on because he was not even able to tell me what's going on there. And he was also not even able to watch the video himself to try to understand what's the challenge that he was looking for, that he was facing on. This is the type of stuff that does not work. you need to own your own project. You need to own your own career. You need to own your own CV. You need to own your CV preparation. You need to own your own life. Ownership. Nobody else can solve your problem. You take the responsibility. You take their lead. This is what it's about. Why I'm saying this is the very fundamental first step. If you're in the level 0, you need to take this decision here. If you're in the level 2, you need to take this decision. If you're on level 2, if you want to move for the level like 2 to 4, if you're on this level, you want to move for the next one. What I mentioned, if you've seen other videos, what you need practice. So you need to practice, or you need to get or either a job, or you get a volunteer work or any type. So likely you're going to need or either looking for volunteer positions or a job. Or a job. But you need to do that. And if people are already here and they do not have the ownership, they get stuck. Because usually they are going to say, and I've seen even people saying that, oh, but this company I'm working on, they do not invest in any type of training. So invest yourself. Why you're waiting for someone to invest in you? And I get it, because of the money. Have you asked the company, have you proposed a training, say to the company, hey, I want to do the training one, and let me put an example, just one of my trainings, saying, I want to do the Planner Pro training here, company. Can you approve the value? Yes or no? And they say, no, I will, or they say, yes, you can do it, or they say, no, not. Why you don't want to do it? And then some people say, but the company does not want to pay it, so I'm not going to do it. That's fine. So if you're working to a company that does not want to invest in you, that means that you're also not willing to invest into yourself. You're not willing to learn, to grow. How do you think you're going to move into your career for next levels if you are not willing to invest into yourself? Ways you can invest into yourself: training, coaching, mentoring, reading books, reading a video like watching a video like this. Then you can interact, you can ask questions. This is what I'm telling you. This is the ownership. This is the action that you're going to take. This is the proactiveness that you need to have to progress into your career. Because again, if you don't do this in those levels here, you're not going to do this in this level here. So that means that you're not going to progress also for the next ones. Because I've never seen a project manager performing with consistent delivering results there or being a top achiever without taking the ownership of the project, without being proactive there. This is quite important and quite relevant there. So if you do not understand this decision, and if you do not take this decision, if you do not make this decision yourself, you are done. And you're going, and I've seen people that they are in the same company for 25 years, and they say, oh, but this company, they don't invest in training. Fuck, you're there for 25 years. Why don't you invest yourself? Why you don't try to improve yourself? Yes, the company should help you in the journey. 100% agree. But it's your responsibility to develop yourself. It's your career, it's your life, it's your project, it's your ownership. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to do that for you. And if the company is not really need to help, fine, go and find another company. Invest yourself, develop yourself, and find another position. Move forward. You need to take these steps. If you do not understand, if you do not take those steps, then you can stay for the entire life in these projects here. And here I put a time frame in months, what I think would be feasible with the right effort, with the right uh, guidance to get to a top achiever there. And this is like general, can be different for every person, 100% true. Depending, you can get a bit faster, or can think you need a bit more time. So this can be kind of a guidance or average. But what happens if you do not take these steps? Nothing. You are going to take, and I just mentioned here, people that I've seen this, they are working this for 15 years. 15 years doing that, and they are still here. And very likely if they do not change anything, they can work another 30 years here, and they are going to still be here, not being able to have a consistent results, not being able to progress in their career. What do you want? You want to take the steps, you want to take the ownership. And stopping looking for excuses, say, my company does not support me, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money. Generally, this is kind of bullshit thing. And sorry to say in those words, because time is a matter of priority. Money is a matter of priority. Of course, if you tell me I don't have the money, I need to invest half of a million right now and I don't have it, so you can find a way. But even though if you say I do not have anything to invest, you can start to develop yourself buying a book, for example. There's plenty of nice books that cost there 10 euros. If you say I don't have 10 euros to invest in a month, that might be a problem. 10 euros. For example, I've mentioned, let me give you another example here. Planner Pro, that's one of the programs that I have. It costs 79 euros, at least at the time that I'm recording this video here. The price might change in the future, but this is the cost for the program. And I get 6 months support. You get 6 months support that we could check and I could help you to develop your project there if you have questions and so on. So 6 months, this is less than 13 euros a month to get the support. And why I'm showing you that I'm telling those numbers, because usually it's a matter of what's your priority in your life. Of course, if you invest in a training, if you invest in a book and you don't do anything with that, then is of course it's a waste. If you buy a book and you don't read it, nothing's going to change. If you buy a training, you don't do the training, nothing's going to change. Then it gets the same case. You get a class in how to improve your CV, you don't watch the class and you don't improve your CV. Done deal. You get a quote from a supplier for your project, you don't review the quote, you don't review anything, you don't review this with the team, and you ask someone, can you solve my problem? Hey, dear manager here, can you decide what we are going to do? How management in this case they are going to decide? They are going to review the business case, they are going to review the price, they are going to check the technical solution, and then they are going to see which option 1 or 2, is best for the project. Why you cannot do that yourself? Because you don't do that for your project, you don't do that for your CV, you're not going to do that for your development, you're not going to do that for your career, and you get stuck. Again, you get stuck maximum here. So don't be like that. This is a decision that you can take, and hopefully with this class here, I made the point clear for you. It's your job, it's your responsibility to take care of yourself, to take care of your career, to take care of your development, to take care of your project. Don't wait for anybody else to do that. People can help, like I can help you in the development journey. Yes. Your company can help you in the development journey. Yes. Your manager can develop, it can help you. Yes. But in the end, it's your responsibility. You need to own it. So you need to have the ownership of your own life. Otherwise, nothing else is going to work. It's not going to work for your career. It's not going to work for your development. It's not going to work for your project. If you want to learn more about the project management mastery here, and of course other skills that you need to develop, including I'm going to talk about also critical skills that you need to move in this, make sure you subscribe for the Project Management Summit here. It's free, 3 classes, and you even get a free certificate in the end. Here again, you have the option. You say, no, I'm fine. I'm not going to do anything. so be it. I cannot help you in that. But if you want to develop yourself, I'm here to support you in the journey there. Hopefully, I'm going to see you in the Project Management Summit. Don't forget also to like and share this video so it can reach more people and more people can learn about project management. And see you soon. Bye.